What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that is the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that it helps to make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor and hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And yes, that does help to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today we are headed over to the RNC convention because yesterday on day one, there were a lot of speakers that came up on stage, a lot of speakers that you would expect. But one individual that you might not have expected to show up on stage and that has thrown a lot of people off on the Republican side of the political aisle is Amber Rose. Amber Rose hit the stage as an official speaker at the RNC convention, and it appears to be creating a little bit of a controversy on the right. There are some who are in favor of it, and there are some who are vehemently against it. Now, let's just take a moment to listen to a little bit of what Amber Rose had to say. She spoke for roughly around 5 minutes, maybe a little over 5 minutes and some change. We're not going to play the whole speech here, but I will leave the link to the entire speech in the description box below. But let's just get into some of the highlights of what Amber Rose was talking about at the RNC convention.
Whether we're Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, or liberals, we all want a better country for our children. That the best chance we have to give our babies a better life is to elect Donald Trump President of the United States. Now, you may be wondering why I'm up here telling you this. I'm no politician, and I don't want to be. But I do care about the truth. And the truth is that the media has lied to us about Donald Trump. The first person I knew who supported Donald Trump was my father. I was shocked. My entire family is racially diverse. And I believed the left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. My father said, "No, he's not, Amber. What are you talking about?" And when I insisted, he said, "Prove it." So to prove my father wrong, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump. People have to do their research. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters. I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love. And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong.
These are my people. This is where I belong. Yeah, that has made a lot of folks on the right a tad bit upset, to say the very least. Like I said, creating a little bit of a split within the right concerning Amber Rose hitting the stage and speaking at the RNC convention. I want to get into some tweets from folks that are, rather prominent, you can say, on the right in concerning right-leaning media, right? Who we have here first is a tweet from Matt Walsh. And I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see what he has to say together. Matt Walsh stated this, and he wasn't happy, to say the very least. The RNC gives a primetime speaking slot to a pro-abortion feminist and self-proclaimed slut with a face tattoo whose only claim to fame is having sex with rappers. Truly an embarrassment. Not a single voter will be mobilized by this person. He said a lot there. He said a lot. And those sentiments were echoed via a retweet from N Wokeness. And I think you all are familiar with the Twitter page N Wokeness. They retweeted a tweet that was put out here, which was a thread by America 2100, right? And this post reads as such: Amber Rose is a former stripper, drug dealer, and slut walk organizer. I didn't know Amber Rose was a drug dealer. That might need to be fact checked, but anyways, that's a new one. I didn't know Amber Rose sold drugs. I didn't know about that. But drug dealer and slut walk organizer. Oh, and she's big on OnlyFans. Yesterday, she got a primetime slot at the Republican National Convention. The RNC should be representing its voters. Instead, it's representing, well, we'll tell you. And then the tweet, which is a thread, goes on to articulate their issues with Amber Rose. I'm not going to go down through the thread so that you can see it, but essentially it's a visual representation of everything that Matt Walsh said. So you get to see all of her wild pictures during the slut walk and so on and so forth. But on the flip side of the argument, a very interesting take came from Anthony Bryan Logan, a very popular conservative, you could say political pundit on YouTube, right? And he quote retweeted Matt Walsh stating this: "You don't understand culture." As a matter of fact, once again, let me zoom in just a little bit more. And this is what ABL said to Matt Walsh: "You don't understand culture. The boomer generation won't be here much longer. We are tired of seeing elderly faces in politics. You have to reach out to the younger crowd." And to be quite honest with you, I would have to agree with the sentiments of ABL. I think that he is 100% correct on this. The reality is this: as he stated, the boomer generation is fading away, and you do have to reach out to a younger audience. Outside of the fact that you got to reach out to a younger audience, you also have to acknowledge that America is becoming increasingly and rapidly more and more diverse, primarily due to the man-made migrant crisis by Joe Biden. But even outside of that, it was trending in that direction anyways, concerning the diverseness of America. So with an increasing younger, more diverse group of people, with even outside of the migration happening into the country, illegal migration, right? Even outside of that, the birth rate of mixed children from interracial couples and interracial marriages is skyrocketing as well. So this also contributes to the diversification of America. Everyone isn't just simply black or white anymore. You know, there's a mix of people being born. And the reality is that Amber Rose actually represents all of that. By having Amber Rose at the convention, it does appeal to the youth, and it also appeals to the ever-growing, more diverse population here in America. For those who don't know, Amber Rose's mother is black and her father is white. To be more specific, her mother is Cape Verdean, if I remember correctly. And if I remember correctly, Cape Verde is a West African country. It's an island in West Africa, right? So she's a mixed woman who appeals to the youth, though she's a little bit past her prime concerning her relevancy. Nonetheless, that's what she's there to represent. And that was the best that the RNC could do in that moment, was to pick up Amber Rose. But the reality is what ABL is saying. Times have changed. And I believe the people at the RNC understand that. And they know that moving forward, to appeal to a more younger audience and to even a more diverse audience, if they themselves want to remain relevant, they're going to have to reach out across the aisle to more and more people like Amber Rose, like it or not. Now, was she the best choice? Probably not, right? Especially given her history, because she was at least a very clear and open leftist, right? But I think that Amber Rose was honestly the best that the RNC could do in the moment. The same way on the left concerning Democrats, they adopted someone as ratchet as Cardi B. You see on the right, the RNC is doing the same thing by adopting a ratchet like Amber Rose. Like it or not, Cardi B and Amber Rose apparently are the future of America. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Please share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends. And also don't forget to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram will be in the description box below, as well as pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. And until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.